Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Jimmy. You're watching Jimboyrulez. Today's video is about how to wash your car and what are the best practices. We're also going to check out my car foam gun that I've just received, and I've never used it, so we'll figure this one out together. So without any further ado, let's dive straight into it. So again, as I mentioned, we're gonna wash my BMW Z4 S-Drive 35IS today, and we are nowhere claiming to be pros at detailing, but what we're gonna basically show is the way you could wash your car at home with limited resources, with not the perfect scenario. For example, you ideally want to wash your car in the evening with not sun shining bright like a 12 o'clock sun, and right now it's 4 p.m. in California where the sun is shining and I'm washing my car. At times everything does not work out the way you want it to be. Ideally, if I did not have my computer in my garage and if I had a better drainage system in my garage and maybe a water source, I would be washing my car inside the garage so that there is no sun whatsoever. The benefit of having no sun whatsoever is you have more time to dry off your car and there are no water marks left on the car, but you gotta make do with whatever you have. Now, for some reason, I was always told as a kid, dust off the car before beginning to wash it. I don't see the point of it. I'm just gonna wash it and then I'm just gonna spray water on it, make it wet, and then throw some soap on that. So ideally you want to work your way from the top to the bottom, obviously, because the muck and the dust would drip down. So let's start at the top. You're just getting the whole car wet. You're not hoping that this cleans the car. The car cleaning part comes when the soap comes into play. I'm a big believer in making do with the products and with the items that you have on hand. But here's where I would not make an exception, and that is I would not use dishwashing soap. I would use a proper car wash soap because it has like 0 pH. It just protects your paint way better. I am a huge fan of Maguires car cleaning and washing and polishing products. I don't have one. I've just run out, I realized it. So I'm using the next best thing, which is Armor All. And Armor All is for car wash. So I've just put a little bit of it in here. It's not much, maybe like 2 of these full. And I've not used the car foam gun before, so I don't know if this is enough or not, but we're gonna find out. Okay, so let's check out how it works. So there are 4 settings on here. Basically, the 4 settings are just 4 different levels of soap being used with water. Now, what this is going to do is by the time we start scrubbing, it's going to basically make all the dirt and muck that's stuck to the paint of the car loosen up. Ideally, at this point, you want to use car wash mitts, which I'll put a link to over here. I don't have them, so I'm going to use the next best thing, which is these towels to just loosen up some of the dirt with the help of soap and soapy water. Now, I don't even have a couple of buckets handy, so I'm just going to use a bunch of towels because I do have like 15-20 towels. These towels are made with the same material, so I'm not worried about scratching my car. And the trick is to put more soap, scrub it, put more soap, scrub it, so that way you're not drying the soap with the towel, you're just getting the muck off. I wish I was a girl and this would have been more entertaining for you guys. I'd do a bikini car wash or something like some of the female YouTubers. Here all I'm gonna get is hate for not using the proper equipment. Now as you notice, I'm not even touching the wheels, and that's because I'm gonna leave it to the end. That's what's gonna make all the towels super dirty. So just a disclaimer, I've rinsed this in the sink like 10 times, so I'm not using the same dirty towel. The reason why you want to use 2 buckets is because you don't have to keep going to the sink and back. So now what I'm doing is I'm removed the soap and I'm just going to rinse it with water. We'll address the wheels at the end. So after we rinse it is the most tricky part, and that's to dry the car off. So now we have very little time to dry the car before the water dries on the car. And because we're doing it outside and not in the garage, there's a possibility of little dust mixing with the water and drying out, which would leave a lot of water stains. Even if you're doing it inside, the water has other additives inside, so if you let it dry, it will leave a lot of marks. So this is what my dad calls a chamoise leather. I'll add a link in the description below. This is the best thing to dry a car with, but you have to first get it completely wet and then keep rinsing it. So as this gets wet, it'll lose the hardness and become really soft. Ideally you want a bucket. We don't have 2 buckets, so I keep running in and out to the sink to rinse it, but getting it wet, I'm just doing it with this. Now we get all the water out. Then this absorbs water, so just dry the car. So again, right now the car's not dirty. I've got all the dirt and muck off it, so we don't have to run inside that often to rinse it. We're not too worried about the windows either, because we're gonna go over it with a window cleaner and get it properly cleaned. Ideally, when I had my own place and my own business where we built motorcycles, we also had a dryer. It was a high capacity compressor with a lot of filters, so we would just dry the car out. Same way you go over with a pipe that you rinse it with water, the same way you have a pipe and you dry it out, because it's really difficult to go over these edges inside and there's water inside. So when you have that, it dries out all of those inside bits, and so it's completely dry. Whereas what we're doing, if we drive it out or even after a couple of hours, you will see some water dripping from all of these edges, but that's not a big deal. Again, it's a home wash. Now the thing you want to be careful about is a lot of people, when they're doing this, they'll rest their hand and then they start wiping it. You don't want to do that, because your hand's still going to leave prints. So just don't lean on the car while you're trying to dry it. Now we're not too worried about the windows, but we're going to still dry them because it's going to drip on the car. When you're doing this bit, make sure your chamoise leather cloth does not touch the ground. If it does by mistake, then use another one. Get rid of this one that has touched the ground. Now this is a quick wash. If you're planning on polishing the car, waxing the car, or any of that, you don't want to do a quick wash. You want to do a proper wash. If you're waxing it, you want to use proper material as well. Now, whatever marks you see in the front are actually rock chips. When I got this car, I did not know better, did not PPF it, did not do anything. Now that I know about it, would I do that? Maybe not, because I mean, if it was something like a Ferrari or something, I'd probably do it. But the cost of PPF was not justified. And at some point or the other, I'm gonna repaint it or change the bumper or do something with it. So I'm not too worried about the rock chips that you see. People forget this portion of the car when they wash their car, the door seal and everything. Okay, so for the windows, you want to take the chamoise leather, make sure it's dry. Then take a towel. Now I'm going to use Windex. I'm also going to get it from the inside. So we're going to clean all the windows the same way. I don't know if you can see this, but there are water stains over here. So the chamoise leather is a little wet. Then I'm going to use this towel to dry it up. Windex. Again, the cloth. I'm going to use the cleaner side. The remaining marks are on the inside, so I'm going to do the inside as well. Now everyone has a trick or two up their sleeve. Some say go up and down movement, some say go circular movement. It's just what theory you believe in. Okay, so the trick with the wheels is you want them to be a little wet, a little damp, but not like dripping wet. And then you want to use a tire and wheel cleaner. Now this works very well in getting the grime and the brake dust and everything off. So just spray it. And make sure you use it lavishly and cover the whole part of the wheel, because where it does not touch the grime and where it does not touch the wheel, it won't clean that part. So you want the whole wheel to be covered in it. So do all the four wheels, let it be on the wheel for a while. The longer it stays, the more it cleans. Now, I mean, don't go overboard with it. Don't keep it there for like 2 hours or 5 hours. Otherwise, it might even ruin the finish. And you can already see everything is coming off. Okay, so a lot of you might not have this. This definitely reduces a lot of time and effort that you put in. So you just have to attach this to a drill and it will help you clean the tires a lot easier and faster. But if you don't have one of these, that's fine. You can just use a towel. Now, if you don't have the fancy tool to do it with, don't worry, use a rag or a towel. Rinse it first so all of it loosens up. Then just start cleaning it. You see how much muck comes off? But you will have to take more time going into the corners. Ideally, you also want to wear gloves. And that's brake dust. You can even use toothbrush for certain corner bits. Even around the balls, you'll need a toothbrush. Just use an old toothbrush. Don't use the one you're using to brush your teeth every day. Or if you do, don't use it to brush your teeth after this. Now, if you don't want to go through all the pain of cleaning the wheels, check out my video on ceramic coating wheels. I'll put it up in the description, like up here. And that way the brake dust doesn't stick and the grime and all that does not stick the way it has stuck to this, and it is a lot faster. You can just rinse it off. So before I forget, the foam gun. What I think about the foam gun is that it's great for the value, for the price. It is phenomenal. But I would probably want to invest in a pressurized electric water jet or pressurized water jet that is electric. So there would be actually a lot of foam and not just soapy water spraying on the car. And I will link what I'm talking about because I don't think it's called a pressurized water jet. So I'll link that in the description below as well. Don't forget to check it out. So the car's washed. If you're planning on waxing it or polishing it, you don't want to do a half-ass job that I did today. You want to properly do it with 2 buckets with the proper liquid for washing and proper cloth for washing, and go into the details of it. I have left a lot for the haters to comment on. Please feel free to be obnoxious in the comments. I showed something in my previous video, things that I hate about my convertible roof, and someone pointed out that when you press the button, the lights do come on. Yes, they do, but when you're driving, when you're focusing on the road, it's easier to focus on the mirror than to look underneath in the center console if the lights are on or not. So if you have liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and comment below. Share if you may. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do consider subscribing for more such videos. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Ciao.